Call the meeting to order for the Zoning Board of Appeals Committee, Harrison Township, May 12th, 2026. Mr. Gleason, would you call roll?
Yes, Mr. Brado? Here. Mr. Gleason's here. Mr. Leonetti absent. Ms. Parka absent. And Ms. Torp.
Present. Okay, our next item is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
I will make that motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The next is approval of the minutes of April 14th. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Our next item under hearings and reviews is the case. Would you read the case, Mr. Gleason?
Yes, case number 08-26, Anthony and Marjorie Steiner, 39196, Lakeshore, property 17-12-15-379-028. They requested a 25-foot rear yard setback variance.
Thank you. And who is here to present? Would you go to the podium, give your name and address for the record, please?
Yep. Anthony Steiner, Marjorie Steiner, 39196 Lakeshore.
Thank you. Just so you know, our board is normally 5 people. You could request this be tabled for a full board if you would like to, or we can hear the case with the abbreviated board of 3.
I'm good with 3.
Okay.
All right?
Right. So yeah, we currently own a non-compliant vacant lot and that we would like to build on, and we are just looking for a variance. So current ordinance for a conforming lot is that the building envelope is the average of 2 homes on the right or left of it. We have 2 vacant lots to the right of us, which is north of us. Oh, sorry, left. And then so they took 4 lots to the south of us. And those are various types of houses, sizes, and everything like that. The previous home that was there, when we took measurement, where we took kind of basic measurements, is that from the front of the house to the back of the garage was around 70 feet, and it was a detached garage. We're looking for about 10 feet more than what was originally there, and ours would be an attached garage, though. So that's the big difference. Plus, we're looking for, on the plans now, that wasn't in the write-up, or in when you told us what we were here for, but we were looking for a 6-foot balcony on the second floor also to build, so that'd be another 6 feet, so that'd be an additional 6 feet, so 10 feet plus 6 feet. The practical difficulty that we're having is that we're going to have to put in our electrical, our plumbing, our heating and cooling, and everything onto a first floor, onto a living floor, square footage, and plus we're also looking for a little bit extra large garage because we don't plan on putting an outbuilding of any sort, so no sheds or anything like that. So we're looking to put and store all of our stuff inside the garage itself. And plus, all of our storage that we typically have, because we have a house with a basement right now with a lot of stuff down there, is up above the garage is what we're looking to store all that kind of stuff. So we're looking for additional storage too, is the reason we're looking for this building. Plus, yeah. So before we purchased the lot, we did do some research. We looked on the internet, and we also drove up and down the street, and we did notice that there were a lot of houses that were at least the size that we're looking at that have been built since the 90s, that at least the size of the house that we're looking to build, if not bigger. And a lot of them, or a few of them, I don't know how many, but we're actually closer to the water. And we included some drawings in there showing that. So, yeah, and that's really about it. So,
Thank you. Mrs. Steiner, did you want to say? Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak?
You have to go to the podium, please.
You have
Yeah,
You
they
do.
have to have it registered. Your name, address.
name and address for
This
the
is to
minutes.
protect everybody.
John Varda, 39280 Lakeshore. So we lived a couple of houses down. Am I addressing you, or
Yes.
how am I doing this?
You're addressing the board.
Okay. Which houses on the lake or in the adjacent area have a setback that's 75 feet? The reference in the comments that were made is that there are houses that have a 75-foot or similar setback.
I'm not sure what comments you're referring to.
He said
Mr. Steiner.
that it has houses in the area have a setback of 75 feet.
Okay, let's not do crosstalk. Mr. Steiner, would you come to the podium, please, if you can answer that?
It has to be registered on the video.
Sure, yep. Yeah, what we were saying is that their houses, our house that we're looking at is going to be 80 feet long. And so the houses that we were looking at there were ones that were that length, if not longer. So the setback itself is are you talking about from the water is actually around 76 feet. I don't have the actual number in front of me, but 76 feet or something like that from the water is the actual setback from the seawall, I should say. So that helps.
So it's not that the houses in the adjacent area have a similar setback from the lake, okay, because I don't think that they do. There's a couple that are referenced on there, specifically mine in that document, or should I say yours, is 96 feet. So it is a good distance away from there. Another house I know about is essentially the same at 90 or 100 feet. What happens, and this is a question really for the board, there's an adjacent home that is, I don't know, it's 1,500 square feet. It's the one with the smaller house in the garage. What happens at that point when that person or someone who purchases that decides what they want to do? What happens at that point? Do they apply for a variance? Do they get granted the same thing?
It depends on the circumstances, the property, and that person applies for a variance, he needs the same exception.
Yeah, it would set a precedent that the houses on Lake Shore can then be 75 feet from the lake because this request was approved. Am I mistaking this?
It could, or it's
Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
it's not guaranteed.
Of course, but it does set a precedent that the homes on Lake Shore in the specific area, which are much greater, say it's at least 85 to 100 feet from the seawall to the structure, are much farther back. And I would say it would be likely that if the person who acquires the adjacent home to the south would request a variance, because otherwise they're going to be staring at something that would be significant to the north.
I'm a bit confused. Are you speaking on behalf of the house that's adjacent to the Steiners, or are you speaking on behalf of your own home?
Their house. On the south of their house, there's a 1,500-foot house.
Okay, so you're speaking on behalf of someone else's home?
Yeah.
Okay. Have they sent a letter in to,
We have only the one,
okay,
to my knowledge, correct?
okay. The quandary we have in this area is most of the lots, if not, in my opinion, all the lots are non-conforming. So it's very difficult to build something new or reasonable in size on non-conforming lots unless there's a variance. We don't always grant variances, but sometimes, in all fairness to the person that's appealing, sometimes they need a variance to accomplish what they need to get done. So is this home going to block your view of the
Nope,
water? No.
Not at all.
Okay, so you're not concerned about that at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
The only way it would happen is if somebody took the house down next to us. And then we're granted a variance to put it in that way.
So you're two houses down from this applicant, correct?
Yeah, whatever, we got whatever notice that was sent out by the board.
39280.
Okay, the question I had, one of the items was brought up about the previous structure being, I don't know, was it non-conforming, something about being closer, or, I'm trying to figure that out. What was the previous structure that was there, the reference that was made that was non-conforming? Was it closer to the lake? Was it within the requested setback that the requester is asking for?
I think Mr. Steiner said it was 70 feet for the detached garage. Is that what you said, sir? The house that was torn down.
But the requester didn't buy the house. The requester bought the lot. Is that correct?
Correct.
You're talking about Mr. Steiner?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. The an option, and maybe they would take the option. I had a house on Moran. We were in the same situation. When we purchased that home or lot and we built on there, we were faced with the same thing about having the utilities. Where do you put them? Do you dedicate it into the floor space? We had to put it in the garage. That was what we had done out there. We also just looked at some properties that were on South River, and they got shorty basements. It's probably 5 feet. These are the structures that are at the very end of South River, the condos. They've got horizontal furnaces on blocks underneath there and a 5-foot crawl, and they've also got the hot water tank down there. So from a design standpoint, it is possible. One of the claims was that there's no potential for a basement. We're 2 doors down. We got a basement. We didn't have a choice, really. Otherwise, we would have had to do engineered fill to bring that in, because in the previous structure, there was a basement. So basements are an option. You can do a spread footing, you can do pilings, you can do helical piers. There's a number of them.
Perhaps it's cost prohibitive to do a basement in your case? I don't know.
You did mention that a basement wasn't an option in one of your write-ups. You know, I think if this crosstalk is not being picked up by the microphones, that's going to be a
Yeah,
problem.
that's my fault, I'm sorry.
If you want me to step aside.
Thank you, yes, because we record these meetings. Thank you.
Would you want me to repeat that, or?
Yes,
If you
please.
don't
Oh, no, not at
mind,
all. Yep.
please.
Yeah, so the reason we had a soil board run first off, and it came back that we have a lot of wetness underneath there. The second thing is that people we talked to in the area, they said that their sump pumps will run continuously, and they'll pay $200 to $300 a month in electrical bills. And I don't remember what else I said. Oh, and then just the soil, with the soil board itself going down with the footings and a basement wall and everything like that would be very expensive. I mean, we'd have to go down something like 10 feet or something in order to hit the right soil. But in the other way, I think we're right around 5 or 6 feet if we do a crawl space. So.
So one of the other things that was mentioned is that.
Mrs.
putting-
Steiner, if you
Oh,
could
sorry.
identify yourself.
Marjorie Steiner.
Thank you.
One of the things mentioned was putting the mechanicals in the short basement or whatever. We would prefer, basically because of a flood zone, we'd rather keep that all open. And I think we were gonna do vents or whatever, so that, yeah. So we prefer not to put anything under there because of any future loss, or we just want it to be, to flow or whatever, and run off like it's supposed to. So, that was why we decided not to, with all those being equal, that's why we decided we wouldn't do a basement.
Thank you.
And then the other thing is we did talk to the adjacent neighbor, Linnea, I can't remember her last name. But she called us and she asked about it, and we gave her everything. We sent her the survey and told her what we were doing. And her only concern was she knew that the flood zone had changed and we'd have to build higher. So she was just concerned that, any runoff, that her being lower. And we said, we would address that, I'm sure between the permits and stuff like that, that it would cover that. And I think we were talking about possibly if we have to, we could do French drains. So we wouldn't, so that would be a concern, because the property that we're at now, we were actually the recipient of somebody that, flooded us. So we totally understand. And so we assured her that we would do everything we could. That, yeah, so even if the code didn't, we would, do a retaining wall or however that needs to drain off.
I think it will be handled in the permits.
Right, that's what I said, but ethically, we would still do it. We would never drain into our neighbor because we've been there, we still are there.
Because you know what it feels like.
Yes, exactly, yeah, with no choice. And then I think, what was the other, trying to think of what's the other question.
I thought it was the basement, the possibility of the basement.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Thank you.
That basement issue was just from a reference standpoint. that there is one 2 doors down. We didn't have a choice, but we don't, the electrical, we have 2 sumps. They run every couple of minutes in the peak water periods. So it's not crazy. We have an electric car. We have the temperature control in the garage. It's not crazy. Our bills are a little bit higher than that. So it's.
Sir, did you have a comment?
Brian McCarthy, I live at 26485 South River Road. I do live on the water. My sub pumps run constantly. My electrical bill last month alone was about $380 just for my 2 sump pumps. It's just me and my wife living there. We have no children. And most of our electricity is the sub pumps. So it's a true statement. When you're living on the water, and I have spread footings, I have a deep basement. I went through all this too. I built my house 6 years ago, so I've been through all this.
So it's efficient. It's not like.
Yeah, it's very efficient. They ran 2 drain tiles, and I have 3 sub pumps in my basement. Yeah, and it's pretty massive.
I don't
Like-
live on the water, and my sump pump runs a lot.
Yeah, and I
Harrison
had
Township.
my sub pumps only last 2 years. Like every 2 years, I do have to replace all 3 of them. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yes, sir, your turn again.
Yeah, that part's true. You do have to replace the sump pumps a lot.
Thank you. Ma'am, you're the only one who hasn't spoken? Okay. Okay, is that all from the audience? All right, thank you. We'll go into board discussion.
Shane's been doing some calculations. I've been thinking about this all day.
Yeah, I guess for a question for petitioners, if you could please. The placement, you've got this 44 and a half feet, if I'm reading this correctly on the site plan. 44 and a half feet off Lake Shore? 44
Yes,
and a
that's
half,
what our survey had for us.
which would require 75 and a half feet from the house, 69 and a half feet from the seawall, the front of the house. Did you, I guess, what was the rationale behind landing the spot here, or putting the house here, which would appear to be more forward-facing, more towards the lake than towards Lake Shore? Was there a rationale behind
I'm
that
sorry,
decision? The placement of the house on the lot, was there any reasoning behind
Oh.
where you chose to place it?
Yeah, so we
Terms of
started with
footprint.
the survey, when they did a survey of it, I started with that, and I started that front, and then I went back just from there, that's all.
Okay, so in other words, you went to the maximum, or to adhere to the setback on the front side,
Correct.
and then decided to request the setback variance on the lake side, essentially.
Correct, yes.
Hmm.
Yep.
And then, what is your time, just out of my own curiosity here, what's your timeline to start this project?
As soon as we get whatever answer we get here, then I'll probably finish up the plans,
Okay,
and then at that point, go get quotes, and then start the permitting.
okay.
Yeah, but the permitting,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, as soon as we can, really.
Okay,
We hope to start building sometime at least this year, depending on, I know that even getting the trades in, it's gonna take, time, because they're
Mhm.
not always just available, so.
yeah, those tradespeople. And then, I guess, question for you, John, were you in support or opposite? I mean, I couldn't quite tell. Are you in opposition of? I'm neutral. You're neutral, okay, that's what I thought, that's what I felt.
I couldn't tell either.
That's why I was asking questions myself.
Really neutral in the matter. The concern I have is that when you go along Lake Shore, now people will have the precedent of having these setbacks, and the houses will be even bigger and bigger and bigger in these very, very small lots. Does it become, if you've ever been to south of LA, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo
Birmingham.
Beach. So it's where they take up the I lived there for a while, but it did just take up a huge portion of that. So,
They call it a Bigfoot, yes?
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Okay, and I'm sorry, one last question for the petitioner, if I could, please. These illustrations you provided, these are different addresses than that, I'm assuming, down further south of you.
South end, I think a few north.
A few north, okay. You provided these as examples that are closer than what your house would be at 75 and a half feet.
We're looking more at like, also the lengths of the house and things like that. Not so much closer because even, there is a few houses on there that are that I find are closer, or I found that were closer, but mostly just to show the lengths of the houses and that.
As compared to yours?
Correct.
Okay,
So, because they all seem to fall within like a 70, 80 foot. One of them on there, I believe, is even 90 foot long. So if I remember right, but
Okay.
I'd have to. You do. Yeah.
okay. That's the only questions I had.
I don't have any questions. I think you've covered it pretty well. I was concerned, I wasn't, also, whether you were opposed or for it. That's why I was asking, are you speaking on behalf of your own home or the neighbors? But you've already answered the question, you're neutral, so. Because that's a factor we have to weigh in.
We've looked on Lake Shore we looked at properties on there for 30 years. We used to live down here on Moran, and we've been watching this market for a long, long time. What people are really interested in are these big, wide lots. That's what we have, and we've looked on it for a long time. So we were wondering about this specific parcel when they took down the house, what were they gonna do with it? Okay? It was a conscious choice that someone made to take some very big lot and make one for basically 2 lots and 1 lot. So that's kind of forcing the hand in that specific property.
Right.
If I've misstated something.
You've hit the nail on the head exactly there. If this were not a non-conforming lot, or in other words, a conforming lot, they would be able to build within 30 feet of that seawall.
Because that choice was made, we're here today.
Correct.
Discussing a variance because the very reasonable things that the respondent or claim, whatever it is, wants to do, they're forced into that because of the width of it. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this gentleman, the participant, brings up a very good point, and in fact, that's why I'd be prepared to make a motion today.
Okay.
So, I will make a motion to approve case number 08-26 for 39196 Lake Shore. I think the petitioner has done a sufficient job to prove that the hardship in this particular case is the non-conforming lot. So again, if this lot were of a conforming width, they would be able to build within 30 feet and a variance wouldn't be requested. So that, to me, is the hardship in this case.
I'll support that.
Mr. Gleason, would you take roll?
Yes, Mr. Gleason, yes. Mr. Brado?
Yes.
Ms. Torp?
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you for your input.
Thank you very much.
And actually, you know what, I'm sorry, I should probably include, I hope it's not too late to, I should include in my variance that the setback variance in terms of footage would be 31.7 feet, which would include the 6-foot balcony.
And I will maintain support. That does include the balcony.
Do we need to vote again,
No,
probably?
no, we maintain support, so we're.
So you accept that, all right. Thank you very much. All right, our next item is old business, new business, announcements, public comments, I think, are there any more?
No? All right.
And our next meeting is June 9th. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.